Good to see you. Gosh, dapper with the suits and the turtles. Good to see you. We've been trying to do this for a minute. Which side is yours?
I'm on the side.
Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm. All right. I am so excited
I am too.
I'm so
excited to be with you.
On a special Etalk, we're one-on-one with Oscar-nominated filmmaker Ava DuVernay, talking her historic Hollywood first.
Action! I don't know how I would go back to where people were telling me what to do.
Her latest all-star project.
We can create a new vocabulary to talk about the things that we need to fix in our society.
And how she's changing the game while championing stories that matter.
I'm smiling because you really got it.
Oh, good.
Directing everybody from Oprah.
I remember getting the call from Ava saying, I have this idea.
To Blue Ivy along the way.
And Beyoncé and Jay-Z, all of them in the video. Right there? Hi, I'm Ava DuVernay, and only Etalk gets you this close.
This is Etalk, in conversation with Ava DuVernay.
Well, hey.
We're here.
We're here. I almost feel like I manifested this. Keep doing your thing.
Thank you. I'm really happy to
And
be
let me
here.
get that sit down one of these days,
Hey,
please,
I'm ready.
please.
I think you might have.
I think, right?
It was a lot of warm energy coming for it. It drew me back.
I'm glad we can celebrate you for a whole half an hour.
Well, I can't believe it. Our own show.
Our own show.
Manifestation.
You have an ice cream flavor.
Yeah.
You have a Barbie. Mm-hmm. You have Emmys. You have great style. How does it feel to know that you've made an impact beyond just the screen?
I'm just doing my job, doing a job that is really my second career. I didn't pick up a camera until I was 32 years old.
Yeah.
So I just was excited that I'd be able to make films. So when Barbie calls, or when Funko Pop calls, or when Ben & Jerry's calls,
Yeah.
I'm like, well, these are cherries on top of something that I never expected, and it just feels a little surreal, but really wonderful to be recognized for what I'm doing.
For sure.
Carving out her own Hollywood path, Ava steps into her power behind the camera after working as a publicist for films like Collateral, Dreamgirls, and Madagascar. As for directing, Ava gets a great start with a documentary about Venus Williams, and then later becomes the first Black woman to direct a film nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars with Selma, which follows Martin Luther King Jr.'s march to Montgomery.
Ava, I mean, first time breaking history, it's really awesome.
I remember getting the call from Ava saying, I have this idea.
She's been my champion, like a guardian angel. She was literally with me on the phone or on set every day.
Ava's career continues to rise, now one of Oprah's go-to directors and producers. She wins 2 Emmys for her documentary, The 13th, in 2017, adapts A Wrinkle in Time with a blockbuster budget in 2018.
The minute they said Ava DuVernay wants to, and I just said yes. I've been wanting to work with Ava for so long.
And her Central Park 5 focused miniseries, When They See Us, brings attention to social injustice and feels as timely as ever.
This is much bigger than us. She did these men justice.
If anything, we are more aware of the injustices that are being perpetrated on a, if not daily, weekly basis.
And Ava's examination into the impact of prejudice continues with Colin in Black and White.
This is generational talent right here. Truly incredible.
Today, Ava's turning heads with her eye-opening new film, Origin. It's an adaptation of Isabel Wilkerson's New York Times best-selling book, Caste, which explores why we can discriminate.
A lot of your projects are definitely ambitious and impactful and informational and educational.
All of this, all of it is linked.
What was the most freeing part of sharing Isabel's story independently?
Yeah, you know, when I first started making films, I had no money to make any movies. I didn't know anyone in the entertainment industry. I'd never gone to film school. I was 32 years old. And I just did it with my own money independently.
Right.
And when I'm talking old money, I'm talking no money, really. The favors of friends, just trying to kind of do it with what you could. The films did well, and before you know it, I'm making $100 million studio movies.
Right.
And there's a difference between the two. When you're independent and no one cares, You can do what you want. When you're taking millions of dollars from a studio, you do what they want. And so as a director, it's compromising and trying to figure out how to get your vision through.
Yeah.
And so we were able to raise the money independently, and it is addictive.
For sure.
I don't know how I would go back to meetings where people are telling me what to do because I'm spoiled now. I'm a wild woman.
Right.
I'm out there making it independently.
Yeah.
And you can have a singular voice and get from beginning to end with one thought in mind and complete the journey.
I've seen this film twice.
You
now.
have?
I have.
Two-time club.
Two-time club, and I'm so grateful because the second time I started taking notes. The writing is so powerful.
Oh, thank you.
You show how you can dehumanize a group of people just through stigma and discrimination. And one of the quotes that stood out for me is, "We are heirs to whatever is right or wrong." So, explain that part for me.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think of history as something that happened in the past, but history is now, and that history is an echo. It echoes through time, the way that people think, the way that people dress.
Right.
But truly, our belief systems come from somewhere. They come from what happened before. They affect the way we behave now. History also is predicted because the same patterns are happening over and over.
I think that's like the idea of that connective tissue.
Absolutely.
Right? Sure, the outcome in India with the caste system is completely different than what happened in Berlin, what happened in North America. But if we understand the root problem,
That's right.
we can focus on that. Those
That's
outcomes are unique and they're traumatizing and they're their own thing.
Yeah.
But what I took from the film was that the importance of focusing on the history, which is the origin of how it starts and figuring out how we don't allow it to happen again.
I'm smiling because you really got it.
Oh, good.
Look at you telling us about the things.
Hey.
I love it.
Like the connective tissue.
I love it. I love it. But you're right. Caste is what all of the isms have in common.
Yeah.
And it takes different manifestations in different ways and different people in different places, but the root cause, the origin,
oh, look at that.
The origin is the same. History can help you understand where you're going in the future. When I look at this film, my goals for it are not awards or reviews. My goals for it are for people to know what the word caste means.
Yep.
Know it when they see it, know it when they're affected by it, or when they're affecting someone else.
Right.
Sometimes we think, oh, I didn't cause these problems, I didn't own slaves, or I didn't do this to Jewish people, or I don't think this way about Indian people, but we live in a world in which those things happen.
Right.
And if we all work to fix it, we will have a much more comfortable time in the world. And not only is it valuable, but it's also nourishing to the individual.
Oh, I love that point. Because what I was thinking about was you want to leave this space better than the way we found it.
Yeah.
But you also want to enjoy this space while we're here.
Exactly. It's not just a benevolent thing that you're doing for the future. It is for your comfort and your nourishment right now.
Oh, yeah, I love that. We can put that on a t-shirt.
That's
good. You have definitely worked with some phenomenal actors, Niecy Nash, Blair Underwood, Nick Offerman, but Ingenue blew me away.
Yes.
Why was she the perfect person to lead this story?
She's someone who I think people counted out as an actor.
Yeah.
She's in her 50s, we're a similar age. She's been the supporting character in so many great shows and films, and yet never the lead, never the leading lady. And so this is her opportunity in this moment. She was ready. She didn't just step in the door. She came in and she kind of dominated in the most beautiful, positive way.
Yeah.
And so she lifted everyone, because if you're in a scene opposite Ingenue Ellis Taylor, you better be ready. It was a fantastic experience.
And Ava's fantastic streak carries on here at home when TIFF selects Origin for the inaugural screening at the Viola Desmond Cinema.
Viola Desmond, how much did you know?
I'm not even gonna let you say the question. Nothing.
Nothing.
I did not know this woman existed. And it hurt my heart that I didn't know.
Right.
She's on your money.
She's on the $10 bill, and it took a long time for her to get any type of respect. And now this theater.
77 years ago, Viola Desmond had her car break down in Nova Scotia, decided to see a movie, and she couldn't sit where she chose to sit simply because she was black. She took up that space, and the rest is history.
She loved film like we do. Can you imagine us going to a theater today and someone saying, sorry, you can't sit there because you're black?
hard to imagine, but change can happen in a cinema. So these kinds of stories, it's important that they're not lost to history.
Right.
Viola Desmond Cinema.
The very first film to show in the newly renamed theater was Origin.
Oh, congrats, that's so beautiful.
It was so wonderful. It's a film made by a black woman. It was so poignant, it was so moving to me. The audience was gorgeous. I always have a beautiful time in Toronto, but it was probably my favorite day that I've ever had here. So, an honor.
Take a moment to talk about your fashion. I feel like you have been killing it. It's also been a part of the activism as well.
Well, thank you. I turned 50. And I sound like that woman, do you know that Saturday Night Live? I'm 50 years old. Yeah. And I remember seeing that skit and be like, that's not even funny, I don't even get it.
I'm 50 years old.
Now it's totally me, I'm like, I'm 50.
Yeah.
I'm 50.
Literally, everything changed. And that number just, I thought, anything that I want to do, I gotta do it.
Right.
And if I want to start to exercise, which I never really did, if I want to do Pilates like Lori Harvey, if I want to, you know what I mean? If I want to actually drop some pounds, if I want to do it, any of those things, I better do it.
Right.
And so I did.
So if you're gonna wear the Versace gown, it's gonna be now.
If
it's gonna be a Louis Vuitton moment, it's gonna be now.
You know, if I want to wear the Prada off the shoulder at Venice, then I better just do it
If
right
you're
now.
gonna come to Toronto in the cute Miu Mius,
If I'm gonna do it, I'm like,
you might as well do it now, because you're 50.
I'm 50 years old.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel younger than I ever have, and when making this film, we shot it in 37 days in 3 countries, and being healthier helped me on the set.
100%.
I had more stamina, more energy. I'm passing grips who are 30 years old, like, what are we doing, guys? Come on, pick it up, let's go. They're catching up with me, and it was always, for years and years, the other way around. I would feel slow and sluggish on set. I don't sit in the director's chair. I don't like that. A woman, a black woman, I always felt like, oh, I can't sit. You know, I need to be on my feet. I need to be showing people that I'm doing the work. So I just got into a habit of when I direct, I don't sit. So, but now my knees don't hurt.
There you go.
Up next, it's Ava's behind-the-scenes star stories that you need to hear.
You directed Blue Ivy.
She got a little hair and makeup called Action.
And we'll have more with Ava DuVernay after the break.
Nice.
I'm here with the lovely and incomparable Ava DuVernay.
Hello.
I want to play you a clip from 2014 from a good friend of yours, David Oyelowo.
Yeah. She was asleep, and when we finally got her, she called back and said, what's happening? How do we do? They did a little song and dance over the phone.
Yeah, she sang and I danced. That was the Golden Globes dance.
Nice.
Oh, my brother.
Right? So this was in Toronto. Do you guys still celebrate in the same way?
I just saw him. We had a little Selma reunion. We were very close. But that night, when this big Golden Globes announcement happened, we got snuck in a snowstorm in Toronto. That video reminds me of just being so new to the industry during Selma. I was wide-eyed about everything. Everything was exciting.
Yeah.
And I look back now and see that woman. Oh, I wish I could tell her a few things. I was happy that day.
She did all right.
She did all right. She made it through.
She did great.
She made it through.
I almost forgot to tell you, we have a friend in common.
Who?
Miss Oprah Winfrey.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, has she ever touched your face? She touched my...
She touched your face?
She touched...
Your beard?
My beard with 2 hands.
Like this?
Yes. I don't know her. I met her once.
Hey,
but it was
very
a highlight
close.
for me. What is something that you have received from Oprah in terms of knowledge or advice or support? Because you guys obviously have the right ingredients for success.
What have I learned from her? That is its own show. Part 2. I will say, one of the big things I've learned from her is that every single thing matters. The way that you treat everyone. Like, don't think that that thing doesn't matter, or that meeting didn't matter, or that person doesn't matter. She's so intentional about every interaction. She'll leave a conversation and won't just rush into the next meeting. She'll stop for 5 minutes and think about the conversation she had. What did I learn from it? What did I take from it? Just some of those tools really changed the way I thought about the way I move through the world. You know, that no moment is wasted and that everything is there to teach us something. So it really just changed the way that I live and exist, and really nourishes me in really beautiful ways.
Wow. What a wonderful friend we have.
What our friend?
Our friend is so cool. Oh my goodness. Preparing for this interview, we had revisited Family Feud where you directed Blue Ivy.
I always forget that. And Beyonce and Jay-Z, all of them in the video.
Right.
But that was her first time on camera. Blue Ivy.
Because what we just seen on the Renaissance tour.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Did you know that she had it in her, or was she still
She was still such a little girl, and she was a sweet, sweet girl. And they were so protective of her, but she had an interest in doing it. When I pitched them, I had pitched that she would grow up to be the leader of the country, and that they were the first family. She asked, would she be able to be in it? And they said yes. It was pretty exciting. It's super small. She just holds his hand and walks up. But I remember it was a big deal for them and how kind and sweet he was to her and how much they wanted her to be okay.
Well, as a girl dad, I know how important it is to just even give them that exposure. So it might be small.
Yeah.
But for them,
it's a big deal.
They never done it
She got a
before.
little hair and makeup.
Yeah.
Called action. It was her time to do it. It was nice.
I want to play you another clip because this is a Canadian director, Kelly Fife Marshall.
Yes.
This was on the carpet of Origin. I want you to hear what she says about you.
Oh, okay.
Because maybe as Oprah's done for you, you are doing for others, which is a beautiful thing.
When she tweeted for me or retweeted me years ago, it really made my career skyrocket. And so to be here feels like a real full circle moment and just to support.
Yay! Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Since then, she's come out with a feature.
Really?
Yeah. When Morning Comes, and I was just so appreciative because I've never actually seen Jamaica like that.
Wow.
No one's ever shown me Jamaica like that.
I love it.
You know, you've impacted her
in
such a positive way. How does it feel to hear that and to know that you're using your tools, whether it's social media or your words, you found a way to uplift someone else?
Oh, that's kind. Well, I know how it feels to be on the other side.
Right.
And to just be looking to someone to give a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of inspiration or advice. There's been so many times when women along the way, whether it be Julie Dash, Debbie Allen, really taking some time to pour into me. So I know how that feels, and if I can make someone else feel that way, that's thrilling.
Paying it forward does not stop there. Ava has her eye on nurturing and elevating Canadian voices globally with her company, Array, acquiring films like Learn to Swim, Donkey Head, and the CSA winning The Body Remembers When the World Broke Open.
Her company, Array, is distributing it. What does that encouragement from somebody like Ava DuVernay mean to you in this project?
When we found out that she wanted to pick up the film, I literally cried tears of joy because I wasn't expecting someone like her to be a champion of our film.
To have someone like Ava behind the film, it just gives it this massive boost in terms of people's interest. They'll say, if Ava likes it, maybe I'm gonna like it.
But it's also this beautiful film about two Indigenous women and the love and strength that they share between them. She fights hard for marginalized voices, for filmmakers of color and women filmmakers, and I couldn't be more grateful.
Ava and I worked together on an HBO miniseries. We just kept in touch. I was just like, hey, I have this project, Ava. And she's like, great, send it over. They gave it a platform, and so it's been able to be like celebrated by so many people. It's been a dream.
You mentioned at TIFF that mental health is a huge part of the culture on set, bringing in mental health professionals and mental health professionals of color. Have you seen the benefits of that, and why was that something that you wanted to prioritize on your set? Hearing that alone, I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Well, I deal with a lot of tough subject matter in my films, whether it's 13th, where we're talking about the prison industrial complex, whether it's Selma, where you're seeing people protesting for their civil rights and being beaten as they try to cross a bridge. When They See Us, a series I did about the Central Park Five. And then Origin, you know, there's a lot of stuff where we're grappling with history. So when you're a crew member on set and you're watching that, your body is experiencing the trauma of watching it, even if you're behind the camera or across the set, or if you're actually doing it. And I just felt like you just send people home and ask them to deal with it on their own. Instead, I found that having the resources for people to just pick up a hotline and say, we shot a crazy scene today and I'm feeling a little shaky, or I don't really know how to deal with it. That's important.
Yeah.
And it keeps everyone healthy, and a healthier set is a happier set, and a happier set helps us make better films.
100%. I also think a lot of people just haven't even gotten into the routine of knowing when.
What triggers them, or what?
Or even knowing like, hey, you know what, maybe I do need to talk this out. Or maybe it did affect me that way. That's the truth for me.
Right.
For me to like even start therapy, that took a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
I'm like,
sure.
no, I got this. Breaking those habits,
Absolutely.
I think putting it right there and creating those resources for them, it's like, you
It's
know,
easy.
It's easy. You know what, whatever. Let me try.
Yes, exactly.
Since I manifested you here, I want you to manifest something. What would you like to manifest?
What I would like to manifest is an audience for this film Origin that takes the ideas in directions that I can't even imagine. So if we can create a new vocabulary to talk about the things that we need to fix in our society, that is what I want to manifest.
I'll say this, if you didn't know that much about Viola Desmond, there's probably so many other rich Canadian stories that will fill your heart. Maybe I'll pitch you something one day.
Hey,
that's my manifestation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that.
I would love to work with you. All right, well, you guys better let me go.
Good. That was awesome.
Thank you so much.
I would really appreciate it.
Oh, shoot.
Look at that. That's for you.
That's for you.
That was really fantastic.
I'm gonna
Thank
hug
you
you.
so much.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate that. I had fun.
Brilliant.